Hey y'all, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Tuesday. So it is 90 Day Tuesday. We've got season 10, episode 6. If anyone objects to this union. And I'm so glad that I'm reunited with Kimberly. Hey girl.
Yay! It's so great to be here. We took over, Katie and I. We had a blast, but we're glad you're back.
I loved listening to it, especially when you first got started and realized that Katie had watched the wrong episode.
But I like that
um,
because then she's engaged in like really wants to know. Like she did not know that Sophie and Rob like had a split. So I was watching explaining it in real time to someone who hadn't seen the episode. It's very
yeah,
exciting.
yeah. At least she was caught up to that point. It,
It
it wasn't
knew
like
who
she
it was.
watched like season 9 or something, and she was like, "Who?" Yeah. That happened one time to Aaron and I. We sat down to record Temptation Island and she started talking. I was like, hold a second. I don't have any of these people on my list. I was like, the
Yeah.
couples I have. And I go,
Mhm.
and by the way, you guys always talk about like Mark Wahlberg getting these new teeth, but his teeth look fine to me. They don't look like veneers. And she was like, I think you're on a whole different season.
Oh my god.
And I
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had that on Dateline because there are like multiple episodes called Obsession, multiple episodes called Deadly Affair,
Hmm.
so we'll
Mystery on the lake.
yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. There's all lakes have mysteries, I'm here to tell you. If there's a lake in your town, there's a mystery involved.
Yeah, watch out. Be
Yeah.
careful walking around the perimeter because a mystery will
Mhm.
suck you right in.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. By the way, have you done an upgrade on your Mac so that you get the thing where
I heard you talking about it.
yeah,
I heard your episode. No, I don't. I have nothing.
it should do it on my side if I do this. Sometimes if you do like peace signs and then then like either last time I did it, rain came down, but
When I heard your episode with Maddie, and you were talking about that, but no, I'm seeing nothing.
yeah, all right. Well, probably just in the middle of our episode, it'll happen and then we'll scream and then we'll interrupt the episode and
Yeah.
then we'll talk about it. And who said yesterday? Oh, I was talking to Chris and Wah from DocuSweeties, and they were like, many an episode of ours have been totally ruined because we're talking and one of us moves our hand and they were like,
Yeah.
what was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they scream. Oh my God. Anyway, so if it happens, guys, I'm sorry. I mean, it really is like,
It's very exciting, I would imagine.
it's like brand new technology. We're like, what? A robot just walked through the room? Like, what happened? It's it's the way they get you. It's the way they make you think all this stuff is cool before they kill you in your
Before
sleep,
you realize that they're watching you and that's how it's happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, how would they know that I did a thumbs up? I mean,
Uh-huh.
oh my God. I'm still trying it. And then you sit in the camera with your thumbs up or your thumbs down. There, look, see it? Now it's
Oh
raining.
my god, you are in a storm.
Isn't
Ah!
that crazy? No idea how. Like, I can't remember if, like, how I made the fireworks go off behind my head. I was doing something. I don't know.
You have to
We'll
do it
see.
next time someone's crying because their 90-day relationship is not working out, and it's like the tears of a clown, and it's Rob crying, except he didn't really cry because he has no emotions. But like
Right.
it would be like the rain falling down, like the tears of Sophie.
It would have to be Jasmine because
Yeah, yeah.
nobody cries more than that lady.
No, that's true.
Nobody. Ooh. Okay. Let's get started with Anali and Clayton.
Yes.
And I didn't see them last week, because I was off, but I was so glad that you got to introduce this new couple and poor Clayton. What poor Clayton? Like obviously his room is neat and orderly
I
and
I
it's sad.
The mom is a hoarder. Uh,
Yes.
Obviously, she's been through some hard times. We do not know what those hard times are, but we can imagine.
It
And
we can
he
imagine and they didn't involve dental care. So
stop it.
something
And
happened. Yeah.
she moved in for a short period of time that turned into 3 years. And she was fine with the closet. She suggested the closet. And as I suspected, there's no walking room in the closet. Her mattress on the floor takes up the entirety of the closet. In turn, she does not seem to clean the apartment. She has filled it with her hoard, like boxes of wine corks, But she
Yeah.
does seem to take care of the dogs because at one point she says she's going to give one of the dogs a bath. Um,
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. So we'll
the
give her
the living
that.
room is her hoard and some sort of like crate maze for the guinea pigs. There is a very narrow pathway to walk for the humans, and
Hmm.
it's sad. And Clayton seems like a great guy right now, but I felt that way about Mike. Remember Mike and Jimena? I was like, Mike must be protected at all costs. I
Oh
love
yeah.
Mike, sweet baby Mike. I was at we were at Reality Gaze live show, and I said in
Hmm.
front of a live audience, baby Mike Angel must be protected at all costs. And then like a week later it came out he was racist. So I hope
Yeah. He had a myriad of problems.
he
Yes.
did. I
Yeah.
really hope that Clayton doesn't disappoint me because right now he does seem like baby angel Clayton.
I know. I know. And another thing that was problematic is when last time Jasmine was in New York, and it wasn't around the reunion time because reunion had already shot. And we had seen the reunion. And maybe she posted him later because who knows what his time on Jasmine's Instagram. It's really something. But she posted like, "Oh, I was in New York. I got to see my great friend from Michigan, and it was Mike." And she had pictures of her and Mike doing like fun things, like like the opening of Mary Tyler Moore. Like, here we are, just walking down the street
What?
together. Here we are going to Central Park. Look at us. I mean, look, here we are at the train station. Like, look, it's
The Mall of
uh
America?
no,
No,
Empire
that's
State
in
Building.
Minnesota. Where were they? Michigan? What's in Michigan?
They were in New York.
Oh,
They
sorry,
had
they
New,
were in New York. Empire
yeah.
State Building.
Yeah, I looked up. I have a Lego New York that Anna made for me, and I looked up at it. I was like, "What is that building called?" Empire State Building. Yes. Yeah. So that was weird. We thought the same thing. We also thought the same thing about Ed. We're like, this poor guy, this poor Ed. We felt so. We thought the same thing, and then they trick us. But with Clayton, his obviously is a very deep seated situation that
Wait,
happened
who
in his
felt bad
family.
for Ed? Did we
Uh,
feel bad for Ed?
Aaron and I both felt bad for Ed initially because we're like, oh,
First
this.
episode, maybe.
Yeah, because we're like, this poor guy, look at him. He just loves his dog and likes to put him in a backpack. That's fun.
Right, okay.
They call him Big Ed because he took back his power and said,
Yeah,
"You're not going to make fun of me. I'll make fun of myself." And
I could see
look,
that, okay.
we're like, he just works in an insurance office, and look at him. He just needs love.
He
And
was a model photographer. He was
uh-huh. That should always be a red flag.
Yeah, he was surrounded by models being weird with them, taking
Uh-huh.
their photos. But
But
I see what you're saying.
he also worked in a real estate office. He had a lot of jobs. And he
Yeah,
currently
he did.
works in a real estate office, I think in Arkansas with Liz, I think.
Oh man. I've
How did we get off of what we were trying to talk about?
I don't know, but I'm
Okay.
still cannot get over the fact that you were talking about New York and I said Mall of America. That my brain is not fully on today. It's been a crazy day. And so I said Mall of America and then I said Michigan. And I
Hmm.
was like,
That's both wrong. Yeah.
you were in New York. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's
Not
people are
Minnesota,
gonna
which
think
is
I'm
where Mall
really
of
dumb.
America is.
Yeah, that's where my people hail from. So that was
Yeah.
just I don't know how that got in my head. Anyway, I was
Uh,
really just so thrown by Jasmine and Mike hanging out together, and I'm trying to picture it, and I can't.
mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
like they don't go together. That's
No, but neither did Jasmine and Gino. I mean,
no, absolutely not.
Um,
Actually, there is like similar facial structure from Mike and Gino. I could see that their eyes are kind of same.
she has said she wants a guy that's not very attractive so that
Hmm.
she's doesn't have to
Shark,
be
shark
yeah,
nose. What was?
shark nose, skinny legs,
Yeah.
dad bod. She loves it all. No hair. That's for her.
Hmm.
I think we found a winner with Mike.
Yep.
Also has no money. So let's actually talk about this now. Anali and Clayton. All right, let's do it.
So she arrives in Miami at 2 a.m. and we see 2 seconds of her doing a Darcy cleanup in the bathroom at the airport. And
Yeah.
then she's like, I'll see you in the morning. I was very confused. So I think that we're just seeing like 2 seconds of her trip to Atlanta. And because
Did you
she
pick her
flies
up in
into
Atlanta?
Atlanta. Yeah.
Oh,
But
that's
he's in
weird. Louisville
Kentucky.
has but Louisville has airports, so
Yeah.
that's weird.
But she flew into Miami and then to Atlanta instead. I don't know. There must be
And then
trips
She didn't add that leg. She didn't add that last leg to the
Yeah.
list. She said, I stop here. I stop in Atlanta. Come get me. Yeah.
Exactly. So he's at his airport, or is it at his apartment, straightening up, and he's so mild. He's like straightening up, and he goes, "Here's the pen I've been looking for weeks." Just Clayton, like I
Aw.
just get a glimpse into his life, and it's so just normal, and then his surroundings are not normal. So
Yeah.
also I really need to do something with his hair. It is that the front line is curled under like almost a Caesar, but
Mm-hmm.
almost rolled, and I don't know, he could do a faux hawk or just something to, I don't know.
It's like a lesser version of Sarper and Shekinah.
Yes.
It's like you smashed it straight up on the top. It's not a current haircut for
No,
sure.
it's not.
Yeah.
So he has gotten her an alpaca stuffed animal. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know why. Is that a nickname? Like Piggy? They call her alpaca. And
Hope not.
he's wearing a shirt with their faces on it, with which says "I love you to infinity" in Spanish. So he's
Mm-hmm.
pulling a Zied when he's going to the airport. He has gone to Zazzle or Redbubble and gotten all the merch. So
Perhaps Etsy. Shout out.
Etsy, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So his mom comes in and she's like, "I learned a little Spanish. How are you? ¿Cómo estás?" Like, she's had years, but she has learned. She's trying. She's trying. I'll give her credit.
What else is she doing in that closet? She could have got a free thing to Duolingo. Like, if that's free and you can learn a couple of words a day. Come on now.
I've been doing Babbel because they sponsored us, and it's so easy and actually very fun. So, come on.
Really? And have you learned some things?
Yeah, totally.
What language?
Spanish,
All right,
which
let's
I
hear it.
took in high school, but it
Me
didn't
too.
take.
Yeah. Let's hear
So
it. I would like to hear some Spanish. What would you say to Anali when she walks in?
Bienvenido a Kentucky.
Welcome to Kentucky.
Yeah, that's all I got right now. I told
Okay.
you my brain's not working very well today.
I would say, ¿Dónde es la biblioteca? Because I always need to know where the library
We
is.
always need to know.
Okay.
And Zapateria, which is the shoe store, I think. We
I
always
was going
learned
to say,
that one in school. Yeah.
Zapatos.
Why do you need to know where this? Who needs to know so badly where the library is and the shoe
And in
store?
high school, we learned, Donde es mi cerveza? Where is my beer? Okay, sorry. We off track.
The mom has learned a little, and he's giving her some tips, like don't talk down to her, she's not a child. And the mom's like, okay. So he goes to the airport with the biggest bouquet of flowers. He's never really brought girls of flowers before. He doesn't know. I feel like he gets, like, it's like she's won the Kentucky Derby or like Miss America, and he's handing one of those huge bouquets that you have to hold with two arms.
Yes, like to present it almost like, like you won Miss America, like here's the crown, and then you have to walk forward with a big,
exactly. But I think he's very sweet. So far,
I've got
flags.
2 things to say. I'm so sorry. I think that when he said the thing about the flowers, like he doesn't believe in buying flowers just because they die. A lot of people believe that. It's interesting. I think that he is probably in his mind so far opposite of his mother. Like his mother would definitely buy flowers and then let them rot.
Yes.
Like when we opened that storage unit, and I don't know if you noticed on the right, that stack of boxes, there were all unopened USPS boxes, which is probably a bunch of shit she bought from Poshmark or something that she never even opened.
Yeah.
And I think this is probably why she has to live with her son, because she had to do bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing he said that sparked something in me, before the flowers, what was right before the flowers? Don't talk down to her.
Don't talk down to her.
We see this a lot on this show where people think because somebody speaks a different language, they have to talk to them like they're stupid.
Yeah.
They're like,
people do it when they're like trying to get someone's reading lips or something, and they're like, do you understand me?
Yeah. And he's afraid that his mother, he's afraid his mother will be like, do you know where the bathroom is? Dum dum, El Baño? Like Karen from Family Chantel.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
harvesting the American dollar.
That's right.
So
I'm covering that on Wednesdays with Keisha, guys. We're gonna
I
share
heard,
something.
I'm so
Yes.
excited.
Yes.
So, because I won't watch the show unless there's a pillow talk, and I don't think there's a pillow talk. So you and Keisha are my pillow talk.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
So she comes down the escalator at the airport. He's crying real tears. I couldn't tell if she is. She's very tired and
Mm.
smiling, but
Mhm.
it's hard to tell what her emotions are. And he gives her the llama, who is now wearing a sweater. So he
Oh,
has
okay.
taken the time to put a sweater on that little llama. She's wearing transition lenses. This is just stream of consciousness, what I
Oh,
noticed.
always
I
a problem. Yeah.
I really hate transition lenses.
Yep, we don't understand it here on Pink Shade.
Endorse
We do
it?
not stand behind them. If you look at both of my sisters' wedding photos, my dad looks like he's wearing sunglasses. So he didn't do
There's
that in mine.
one of the children on Sister Wives wears transition lenses, and it makes her look like, I just don't know, like a little
It's
blind child or something.
okay,
It's
like
very, I don't like it.
it looks like you're
So,
on The Sopranos, is what it
yeah.
looks like. Yeah.
So he, at the airport, he says, I have another surprise for you, which he unwraps. It's a mug. I don't know why he doesn't do this in the car. He does it while they're standing there holding this giant thing of flowers and this giant stuffed llama. Here's another gift. And it is a mug, a coffee mug that he also got at Etsy that has pictures of his guinea pigs on it. And it says, I am not food. So it's a good reminder that,
Mhm.
not don't eat the guinea pigs, please.
In the middle of the night, Hunger Games style, don't go out and
Yeah,
kill and cook
yeah.
the family pets. Right. Yeah.
So she says, or like Yellow Jackets, like
Or
some
like Yellow
sort of
Jackets.
dark
Yeah.
Thaisa. So she says, you better not piss me off. If we get into a fight, I might eat your guinea pig. And he says very sassily, you'd have to learn how to cook first. And then they laugh.
Ah,
And I was
but
like, oh, maybe they have banter. Maybe
yeah.
they're okay.
Yeah.
So she says she's a little nervous. She doesn't know anyone in Kentucky. She doesn't know anyone in the States. She's nervous. And,
Mhm.
but she's trying to be positive. Like as they're driving, she's not being all Jasmine about it. Like this is where people come to die.
Right.
She's saying, "Oh, there's farms. Okay, it's pretty, you know." So
Yeah,
she's
it is
being
pretty.
positive. And they they go to the house and he says, I mean, it's weird having her here. I've barely ever had company. And I was like, because your mom lives in the closet.
There's nowhere to sit.
Where would you have company?
Yeah, when she said there's no couch, there is actually just one chair in the
Yeah.
living room. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Everything is done. The whole den and closet is mom's room, and then he's got his one little room.
And apparently, Anali is a very neat person. So this
Mhm.
is going to be great. And so they go into the apartment and she hugs the mom, and the mom says, I love you in Spanish, but not really with a smile. And I was like, it's very awkward. But then she smiles and she says, you're more beautiful in person. And Anali says, oh, okay, I understand. But I
Yeah.
don't know if she totally understood. There's a big
She's
language
looking to the
barrier.
right, like, who's gonna address what's happening to the right? Like,
Yeah,
what's going on over
exactly.
there? Yeah.
So, Anali's trying to absorb what is happening in that apartment. So
Yeah.
the mom is saying nice things to her, but it's more like, why are there big giant crates and what's happening? And
Mhm.
so but the mom is trying to be nice and she says, I've never seen Clayton so happy,
Yeah.
which is, he is very mild mannered. So he's just like kind of standing there, but is very happy, I guess.
Has
So
Clayton ever had a girlfriend or a date or had sex or any of the things before he met Anali? Has any of that happened in his life
yes,
before he met Anali?
interestingly, yes, because later on he mentions it. And I
Okay.
didn't know if it was true, but he mentions
Oh,
it. So,
okay. All right.
so there are these huge crates for the guinea pigs, and he pulls out the guinea pig. Here, look at the guinea, before she even sits down, meet the guinea pig. And she pets one of them and says, oh, and seems to like it and doesn't want to eat it.
Not
So
right away.
far,
Mhm.
we're okay.
Mhm.
But she's very surprised by how cluttered the apartment is and that there's nowhere to sit. I feel like he's never done a proper video chat with her where he's given her the tour, which they never seem to do on this show.
Mm-mm.
Just, you
Mm-mm.
could show them
Yeah,
just so
it's
they're
just
not.
like, Oh gosh, the guy that tricked the girl that I met at the 90 Day Fiance, the guy that tricked the girl, like, here's our house, and it was a shitty house.
Yes,
But
Bilal and Shida.
Bilal and Shida, yes, it's sort of like that. Like Bilal always just sat against a white wall, so she wouldn't
Uh-huh.
know what his house looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah, ooh, so tricky.
Uh-huh. So he shows her the mom's closet and she's shocked because she didn't know. She was picturing a small space, maybe more like Harry Potter's closet under the stairs, but it's like an actual closet. So
Hmm.
she's very surprised. And her home in Peru is way bigger than this apartment. And this is not what she pictured for the United States. And she says, he says, what do you think? And she says, it's okay. And he says, are you too tired to complain? And she says, yes. And so it's like, she says, it's fine. We're a young couple. A lot of young couples live in small spaces. We will grow together. I don't need to get mad at him yet. And then
Yeah.
we hear bomb chicka bomb bomb, bomb chicka bam bam music, and he starts taking off his pants, and I got very uncomfortable. And then he gets under the covers and pulls out a Rubik's Cube from his dressers.
That's how you relax before bed. Yeah.
Before sexy time, you have to solve a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
And so she's in the bathroom. She comes out in a matching shirt from Zazzle, and she goes right to bed. Like she's just laying there. She's like, takes off her glasses, good night. And he's like, oh, I thought, he says, in the past, if I've had a girl, my mom could just turn on the music loud and I'd put on
Yeah.
music. And, you know, it doesn't matter that we're 10 feet away from each other. We'll
Hmm.
just make do. So I
Yeah.
thought, and maybe she's tired. And he looks very disappointed, though. My dad said he was looking like a serial killer, like
She
his
put,
prey just
sh-
got away.
yeah, she put the panda bear in the middle. It was like
Yeah, the Great Wall of China. Yeah,
pillow
yeah,
wall. Yeah.
yeah,
Somebody on our Facebook group posted um, found that apartment and posted like what the floor plan is. And it's a very nice big apartment for one person for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice for
So
his
is there?
area,
It's still
everything.
one bedroom, right? There's not a second bedroom.
No, it's one bedroom, but if he was single guy and lived there by himself, they would
Yeah,
have plenty of space for her to move in. Because there's that walk-in closet is
yeah.
just like a huge storage closet, plus he's got a huge closet in his bedroom. Yeah, there's plenty of space for the two of them to like start their young love together if mom and all her crates weren't there.
Yeah, mom needs to move out. It's actually selfish, I think, at this point.
I
I'm a
agree.
little annoyed at the mom.
Yeah,
Also, take her to a hotel for the first night.
true.
You don't want
True.
to. The mom is literally 10 feet away in her closet.
Yeah, he said they share a wall. So,
Okay, I can't. No,
yeah.
take her to a hotel for the first night.
She's still not going to sleep with you maybe for the first, so you need to do it needs to be 2 nights.
Yeah,
First
fine.
night so
That's
she can
fine.
make a pillow wall so she can sleep, and then the second night they can get
That's
it on.
fine. No
Yeah.
pressure. She doesn't have to do anything she's not
Yeah.
comfortable with.
That she's not beholden to him.
No,
That's
I
right.
will say their kiss at the airport was very much of a peck, and I don't know what their dynamic or chemistry is because we've seen none of that so far. And
Right.
we do know that she is hiding him from her dad. So
Yeah. And
I'm
when
a
they got
little
engaged, she said,
suspicious.
"Sure, I guess."
Sure, okay, I guess. And he took
Sounds
that
nice.
as a consent, but it wasn't what you'd call enthusiastic consent to a
Uh-huh.
proposal. So I have some questions that I would like answered because I don't want little baby Angel Clayton to be hurt.
Well, we're only on episode 6, and we've only seen them for 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So I wonder if because we've brought them in now, that means another couple is on their way out, which could be who I'm about to talk about, Sophie and Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Are we
praying they're on their way out because I want her to leave him,
Me
but
too.
I don't know if she will because I think she has an end goal in mind, which is LA. That's what I suspect
Yeah.
is some sort of
Well,
Instagram fame
yeah,
on
yeah.
it. But yeah,
You can be Instagram famous from London as well.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, we're done with Anali and Clayton. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, okay. We end with them not banging. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Sophie and Robert. So these two beautiful people, beautiful people, they're just like us.
Mm-hmm.
They have problems. He's begging her. He's texting, please answer my text. Please just let me talk to you. And he's sitting out on his gorgeous, gorgeous patio, and that she loves so much with the file cabinets and
Mm-hmm.
things. And he
And the
says,
wafting air from the bathroom, the
yes, yes.
outhouse. Yeah.
And I disagree with what Katie said on the episode last week that she thinks it's just like an open bathroom where there's like a shower head and it's just one drain. I don't think so. I think that um, somebody showed somewhere that there is like a shower curtain, like kind of on the other side of it's like sink, toilet, and there's like it's all one floor. Like there's no like lip to the shower curtain or anything.
Right, right.
But definitely it's a shower curtain that attacks you while you're showering,
Oh, God.
for sure. And it could be why her hair looks so dirty all the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she refuses to get in there. So he's begging her, please answer the text. And he says, I don't know, man. I don't know what happened. She sounds like she don't want to fuck with me no more. It's like, well, that sounds about right. And he says, all of this stuff that she saw, and of course he's just trying to, deflect. He says, all of this happened before her visa got approved.
What does that have to do? You were still dating.
You were still monogamous, and you had been caught before, and she had gotten back together with you, and you were still monogamous. So it doesn't matter if it was the day before her visa got approved or the day after. It doesn't matter.
No.
So he says, it was months ago. It was before her visa even got approved. And I don't even know that girl that sent me that. That was just like free porn from a random. Like, I don't know. And he
That doesn't make it better.
And he does explain why he sent something back, right?
Right, exactly. Why he was interacting. And
it wasn't like he got a video and looked at it.
No,
he responded.
Yeah. And he asked for more. And she told him, if you ever do this again, we're over.
We're over. Yeah. And he goes, the fact that this could be over, it just breaks my heart. And I just want her to talk to me so I can make it up to her. You can't make it up to her. It's not like you missed your anniversary.
Right.
You can't make it up to her.
Yeah. Although you might be able to, because I don't know, a lot of this show go back to a lot of horrible men.
That's true. And vice versa.
Yes.
So now we see her in this very nice one-bedroom little bungalow in LA. How much would that little bungalow in LA cost a month?
$5,000.
I wrote it's probably $5,000 a month. That's what I wrote. Because it's not like a studio and it's not an apartment. It is a full home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Probably has a pool.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, well, if she can afford this, bring him over.
Yeah, exactly.
So she FaceTimes with her mom, Claire, who I love. I love when
British
the elders.
Molly.
Yeah, British Molly. I love when elders like myself, because I'm probably the same age as Claire, wear the little space buns.
I've thought about it, and I just don't know if I could pull it off. I'd feel very self-conscious.
Me too. It would have to be very specific. Yeah, it'd have to be. Maybe if I went to like a Billie Eilish concert.
Yeah.
I could do it in homage, and then everybody would be like, "Is that Billie Eilish's mom? What's she doing here?" That's on my dream list of people I'd love to interview is Billie Eilish's mom. For real. Really? How did she turn out these two children? Like, yeah. What did I do wrong? What did she do right?
Stop.
I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Anna is listening, like crying.
No, she's not. She's like, yeah, figure it out. Become friends with her so we can meet Billy. So she FaceTimes Claire and she tells her mom what happened. She said she had an intuitive dream and her dreams are always right. And so she had this intuitive dream that he was cheating like she had before when she caught him. So she checked his phone. Now, how do you think she checked his phone? I think she got it off the nightstand, held it up to his face to get it to open.
I don't know.
Otherwise,
I don't keep my phone
does she know his
password? But
does she? Most people do.
I just don't.
Also, you don't have an iPhone, so shame. Shame.
I live by myself and I'm never like around people, so I don't feel like it's in much danger of getting it's never out of my hands.
What if somebody came up to you at CrimeCon, you go, let's do a picture, and you handed them your phone and then they ran off? Then what would you do?
Well, there's a bunch of wannabe detectives there that could help me solve the crime.
That would be the perfect place.
If it's a finger thing, she could have just held up his hand or held it to his finger, right?
iPhones don't do that anymore. Now it's Face ID.
Okay, so yeah, then she must have.
Yeah. My computer still does finger ID, but the iPhones do Face ID. Okay. So she tells her mom she checked his phone and found some disgusting videos, and it was just 14 weeks ago. I was like, 14 weeks is
I literally had to do the math, and because
three and a half,
14 weeks sounds so long.
it's like 3.5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What? She should have just said 3 months.
I know. It was 14 weeks ago. And Claire's like, oh my God, I hate him. He's a knobhead. I hate him. And then she's like, yeah. And then, I confronted him on it and said, I know. And he says, what do you know? And I said, I know everything. And she says, I packed my stuff and I left. And I asked him to please just leave me alone. Leave
He
me alone.
said, what do you know?
Yeah, I think she said, I know. And he said, what do you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like what? Like, I think she just woke him up screaming, I know. He's like, I'm dead asleep. What do you know? What?
Yeah, okay. Because what if in a different context, what do you know implies there's a lot to know. And like, what of the cheating do you know? Do you know about the sex workers? Do you know about the orgy? Do you know about the,
Right. And so mom said, well, you're alone in LA with no one there. No one there. You gave up your life to go there and be there in America, and he can't do the bare minimum. He's jobless. He's boring. He has no sympathy. And now he's talking to dirty, nasty skanks online just so he can get his sausage to explode. He's disgusting.
I did rewind that because I was taking notes and I was like, wait, what did he say? And my mom goes, something about a sausage exploding.
You're like, okay, I got it. We don't need to rewind it.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I don't
Mom.
need to go back. Thanks.
And she says, you can't be with him. You can't marry him, Sophie. And then she sits there for a second. She goes, but deep down, you want to give him a chance and still love him. I can see. I've done this with you before. Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
And Sophie says, well, I've now seen the videos and seen the messages, and I can't unsee them.
Yeah.
And we'll never be able to have a relationship without trust. How many times is he going to have to show you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Ladies, raise your standards. Be your own Prince Charming. I say it all the time.
When someone shows you who they are, believe
them.
Yes. And she says, I just want to hear his side. And Mom's like, he has no side. And Mom says,
his
I can't tell
side
you.
is going to be sex addiction. He needs to just claim sex addiction, which is real. And he very well might have it. But that's not an excuse. So get your act together. Get treatment.
I heard you guys say that last week. And I was like, they're so right. That's what he's going to say. Yeah. And Mom says, well, I can't tell you what to do, but I could, if I would tell you to get on a plane and just come to me. And then in a talking head, Sophie goes, best case scenario is I could be with Rob and we could be a great couple. But the other side of my brain says he will do it again. Okay, well, let's listen to that other side of your brain, girl.
He will do it again.
We'll see. I don't know. I wonder. I really do wonder if
he will, because she gave him an ultimatum the first time.
No, I don't wonder if he's going to do it again. I wonder if she's going to stay with him.
I wonder if there's spies on internet who have seen, like, if she's still in LA.
Yeah, I'd like to know all of that because I can't get on Reddit anymore. I've been banned myself from Reddit.
Were you getting too obsessed with it? I'm too obsessed with it right now because still of the true crime podcast drama. I still am checking every day.
Yeah, and I need you to fill me in on that with Cliff Notes later because I was following that as well, and I had to stop, and then I started following this other story that tangentially involves me, and I cannot look at it anymore because then I'll go on there and people are like, I used to like Mary Payne, but blah, and I'm like, what? I'm right here.
Oh my gosh. Do I need to go in undercover and defend you?
Sure. I'll show you where.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Bad. Speaking of that, guys, please go to iTunes and leave a 5-star review if you love this podcast. Thank you. People wrote some bad reviews because they were upset because 2 weeks ago I had the founders of 21 Seeds on to talk about their product, which was sponsoring us. So contractually, I did an interview with them. They're great ladies. The product is very interesting how they started it and how they're like the largest female-owned buyout of this. It's a great story. We were supposed to talk about Bravo most of the time, but because they're, great ads for themselves, the subject got brought around back to tequila every time I tried to switch it to Bravo. So that was fine, and they were fun to talk to. Lots of people enjoyed it and went out and bought 21 Seeds and were sending me the cocktails they were making. So I was glad about that. But people had to take to the Apple reviews to let me know that they did not like that episode and that I was a sellout.
How many free episodes does Mary Payne put out every single week?
3.
Thank you.
3.
That's way more than most podcasts. We do 1 a week.
Yeah.
With a lot of ads. So stop.
So guys, just if you like the podcast, just hit that 5 stars and say love Mary Payne, love Kimberly. Also do it to date with Dateline too. Okay?
Yeah.
Thanks.
And do it for Closet Mom.
Do it for Closet Mom, guys. Do it for Closet Mom. At some point, we're going to find out what her backstory is and why her teeth look like that, and I'm going to feel bad. But I haven't made fun of them as much as lots of people DMing me said that I should have, and I'm trying to hold it together because I think it's going to be a terrible story.
I'm sure it's a terrible story about drugs or something, and
Yes.
I am not commenting on people's looks, and I just sit here when Mary Payne does, and I don't say anything. I laugh. I've probably said something. Mary
Excuse
Payne
me,
can
ma'am.
pull me down into the gutter pretty easily.
Oh my God.
Katie lifts me up out of it and she'll edit out anything like that, and Mary Payne encourages it.
I don't think that's true.
My soul is bad and dark, and I have the darkness like Osama, and I very easily will go to that place. I'm trying to be a better person, Mary Payne.
Okay, whatever. All right, let's talk about Justin, Igor, and Nikki Exotica.
Oh boy, this was a good episode for them. So the question of the hour is, did they do it? Did they have sex? Because we're seeing them in bed, and that's just all in our minds. Did they do it? I couldn't stop thinking about it all week. Actually,
but when he leaned over and was trying to give her some morning action, she was like, "Oh, get away from me!"
He seemed very cranky in the morning, like, I'm sleeping.
I was like, "This is your chance. This is your chance.
Yeah.
Do it, girl. Take advantage of his morning wood."
But then we kind of find out why, because they did do some physical stuff the night before, and he explains it. Okay, how do I do this on the podcast? So the hand gesture of the carrot in the donut, the Paul and Karini putting a ring on a finger, that gesture, but he does it without the carrot. So it's like a fist. It's like playing rock, paper, scissors, and the rock is just hitting the paper.
Oh, boom,
like
boom,
this.
boom, boom. Yes,
boom, boom, boom. And she says, "What is that gesture? Why are you doing that?" And it's very concerning if that was what their lovemaking was like.
It's like he missed the hole.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what's happening. Or
So
he
sorry.
was hitting her with his butt or something, like his elbow. He was elbowing her in the crotch. I don't know what was happening.
He was like Erica Jane. He was patting the puss just with his hand, just patting it.
So she says, she's trying to be nice, but not really that nice. So she's like, it was good. There are things that, there's some things missing still. I just feel like there's, and he goes, "Oh, something missing." And he makes another gesture, this one involving his tongue inside of his cheek, making that gesture. And Joni's listening right now, and she's so confused. Sorry, Mom. And so he's making a BJ gesture, essentially. And she says, "No, that's not what's missing. I do that for you, but you don't do the equivalent for me." And
she really, really wants it.
She wants it. She's been talking about it since she got off the plane.
Yes. She wants it. She needs it.
Yeah. So she says, "I just want more." And he says, "More riding the horse?" And he's not getting it. And she's like, "Yes, I love riding your horse, but there's more. I'm very horny. I took hormones before I got here. I'm like a leopard in heat," which I didn't know was a thing.
Yeah.
"And I need more, and you're always saying, oh, I need to save my energy, or I can only do it once. So she wants to do it multiple times, and she wants all of the steps. She wants everything.
No
And
quickies. No
no
quickies for
quickies.
Nikki. No quickie Nikki. Mm-mm.
And he says, well, if sex is the most important thing in a relationship for you, why didn't you pick like a professional in sex? And she says, you used to be like really good at, like, we used to do it all the time, and I'm picking the whole person, but sex is a very important part. And he says, well, I don't really have that much experience. And she says, really? Really? And I think she's saying he slept with a lot of women, but also when they were together 15 years ago, they had sex all the time. Now, he's in
Let's
his
remember he was 19.
he was 19. And
Yeah.
I think if I'm remembering the science, I think that's when men are at their sexual peak, and women it's like 30s or 40s, right?
And
So,
she was what
and
did we
she
just figure?
was
What did we
30,
figure out?
30, 30, 31, and he was 19, which is
Yeah.
super ick.
Yeah.
But she's explaining, feeling rejected is a huge trigger for me because I've been rejected a lot for being trans, and he makes me feel rejected and insecure. So they go out for the day. I don't know how long it took her to get ready. I'm guessing 3 hours, because this is the up look, and
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
not the picnic in the park look.
Mm.
So he's kind of funny. They're in the car, and he rolls down his window and says, "Hi, ex-girlfriend," like waving to no one. And then she doesn't even laugh. She just glares at him like Gino and Jasmine. Like Jasmine would be like, "Who are you cheating with? Who are
Yeah.
you cheating?" And he'd be like, that was a mailbox. I was waving at a
Yeah.
mailbox, calling it my ex-girlfriend. Who
Yeah.
is that mailbox? Did you have sex with that mailbox? So she's just cranky. And so they go to meet his friends in a Beamer that he drives, which I'm assuming she paid for.
We're assuming, yes.
And she is happy she's getting to meet the friends. She's not being hidden. And they're all so nice, and they're all hugging each other. And one friend says, I've never seen him with a girlfriend before because he's so private, which I thought was interesting. So he's private all the time, and not just with Nikki, with other girlfriends too.
Yeah.
And they order a huge pizza that looked delicious, and my whole family and I were like, pizza. We always just want
Oh,
pizza, and we were more excited about the pizza. Go back to the pizza.
I didn't
And
even notice it. I didn't even notice the pizza.
it was huge.
Oh,
And so right away, she starts oversharing about her life. And she brings up, she just says that it's been so long since I've been here. Yeah, things have changed. I've changed. I've had surgeries, and I've had this done, that done. I sound different. I look different. And he knows that I am trans now. And she just brings it up right away. And they're like, oh, he didn't know before that you were trans. So I guess they don't know the whole story.
they don't know the whole story. I did think the friend though, Roksy, I thought she seemed when Nikki was talking, I thought she seemed like genuinely when they're all at the table together with the guys, I thought she was very genuinely interested and asking her questions. The guys were a lot more uncomfortable, but Roksy seemed to be like woman to woman, like I hear you, you
I'm
know?
obsessed with Roksy. I want to
Yeah.
be her friend. I think she's so amazing. She's so sympathetic towards
Yes.
Nikki, and just so lovely. So Nikki says, "Yeah, he didn't know that I was trans, and I told him, and that was really horrible, and I feel badly that I didn't tell him, but I had been abandoned by my family when I told them. So I didn't want that to happen again, and I was homeless, and I had to prostitute myself to survive, and the friend, and she kind of has to explain to them more about what that means. And the Roksy is so sympathetic. And Igor slash Justin says, um, I wasn't mad. I thought he was going to be mad. In the previews, they made it seem like he was going to be like, why is she telling my friends this? She's freaking
Yeah.
everybody out. Why is she telling them her deep, dark secrets? But he says, I wasn't mad that she told them that. I respect her past and what she had to do to survive.
That was interesting. He was I thought he was going to say something different as well.
I totally did. And he's like fine and he gives her a kiss. I will say she's been quite sexual in front of them, like sucking on his straw and saying, "I spilled something on my chest," and like wants him to lick it off. Like that
She's
overly sexual, like needy behavior.
like lick the ice cream off my face. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So Roksy says, "I feel so badly for both of you, what you had to do to survive and what you've been through, but also for him, he has to deal with this in a very conservative country. So it's a tough situation that you're in." And Nikki says, "I think while it's going so well with these friends, I can do some digging and find out some stuff, and I can be Inspector Gidget." Now, I think she meant Inspector Gadget. I don't know if she was confusing it with Gidget, that show with Sally Field.
Yeah, yeah. And I
But
think she
it's
did it on purpose to be like cutesy.
cutesy, Inspector
Yeah,
Gidget. Okay. And then my
yeah.
dad said, "Yeah, maybe Inspector Gadget was married to Gidget." And I said, "No, he did not have a wife. He had a daughter, Penny, who had a dog, but no wife.
You lost me. I will tell you
I think
that
he murdered the wife and
oh,
accidentally with one of his tools."
somebody posted on our Facebook group that the whole like sizzle reel that she put out, it was like a YouTube show or something. It was like a plastic surgery story about somebody who made it was a story about her. It was about 5-6 minutes long. It was about, a woman who makes herself look like Barbie. And it was all the plastic surgery and everything she's done to make herself look exactly like Barbie.
Yeah,
And she says Barbie a lot, but it's interesting they don't say that too much on 90 Day, probably because they don't want to get sued by Mattel or
Mattel.
whatever. But
But
in that,
we talked about that, how her proportions are like
yeah,
Barbie, and when I was growing up, they would say, "Look, Barbie probably couldn't even stand up if those
no, because
proportions were real."
her feet are so little
Yeah,
that her proportions. But it was an interesting little thing because they were showing her and showing all her surgeries and all that. She's I'm plastic head to toe, just like Barbie. Like plastic is fantastic, or whatever she was
yeah,
doing.
she's proud of it.
She's very proud of it. But in the things that they were showing of her, 100% it looked like she has an Andy Cohen lazy eye. Like one eye was not matching with the other. And I was like, I wonder if it was always like that. But when they showed the pictures of her, as a little boy, and then the kind of the teenager transition to now, the teenager transition photo, I was like, you should stop right there. You look great. You look great.
Beautiful, yeah.
You look great. But there's something there that we just like Clayton's mom, we're not going to be able to figure it out.
I think, yeah,
Yeah.
body dysmorphia. I just
Yeah.
still can't figure out her eye color because
It's like a light
she's
green in that video.
sometimes, and then
Mhm.
sometimes it looks just very. I know she's changed it, but we still don't know if that is with surgery. I think it is, but
Yeah, somebody said that the girl, Ti's wife, Tiny, and her daughter both had the surgery to change their eye color.
so do they inject something or
I
like
don't know. I don't know. I don't
graft
know.
a contact onto it?
Ah,
Okay,
blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
so someone let us know in the Facebook group, please.
Or don't.
So uh, she takes Roksy to the bar. Let's do some girl talk, and she basically just lays it out. Look, I want him to go down on me, and do men in this country not do that? And Roxy's like, no, they do that.
Hmm.
And she says, okay, well, he won't. And he used to before he knew I was trans. And now he won't. And Roksy is so sympathetic. And she says, did you ask him about this? And Nikki says, yeah, he just says, give me time. And
Hmm.
Roksy gets defensive for Nikki and is like, well, that's not an answer. Like, I
Well,
almost thought she was going to walk over to him at the table full of the dudes and be like, why won't you go down on her?
men, everybody here, chime in. Do you go down on your women? Raise of hands. Raise
In
of
a
hands.
poll
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
bar. So Roxy's been great. Meanwhile, the guys are all chatting and they're saying they're going to be supportive of him. And they do ask about sex right away. And he says, well, she's a sex machine and she's not submissive like we're used to in this country. And they say, oh, is she like masculine and dominant like a man? And Justin
Hmm.
says, yeah. And he doesn't like it. And one of the friends says, does she have a penis? Which is not okay to ask, but they don't know that.
No, no, it
And
wasn't. But he just had to know. He
he
just he
had
was
to
like
know.
he's like, here's my chance. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, You just heard that he didn't know before when they were dating that she was trans.
Right.
So
So
he
obviously,
he would know if that she was trans if she had a penis.
right.
So he says, "No, she looks exactly like a woman. You would never know from looking at her, but I know now, and it gets in my head, and then I can't stop thinking about it, and then I get turned off." And that's what
He
we've been
says I
waiting.
can't perform.
Yes, and we've been waiting for him to just admit that. And he says it to
Yeah.
the friends. He says, "I'm having trouble dealing with it." And it's if she says, especially when she's very controlling and
Mhm.
aggressive, it
Mhm.
makes me think she's acting like a man, and then that makes reminds me that she was a man, and then it turns me off. And I'm thinking, like, her controlling behavior, her personality didn't change. Before, when
Right.
you dated her, I'm sure she was controlling and sexual before.
Yeah.
She was 11 years older than you and
Yeah.
in her 30s. So I'm sure she was controlling and it didn't bother you before. But now he's associating that behavior with like a man, and it reminds him, and he can't get past it. At least he's admitting it. I wish he would admit it to her. He needs to just tell her, because if he's not over it now, he might not ever get over it, and it's not fair to her. He's wasting her time.
He just wants her to be, like, sweet, innocent, wears
And
pink, acts like Barbie, sweet, sweet,
uh-huh.
sweet. Not
But
that Barbie does that, but you know what I mean? Like,
then
sweet
you
and
don't like
innocent.
her personality. Then say that, you know? It
Right.
you think it's too. First
Aggressive.
of all, a woman being assertive is not manly, you know, women can
Right.
be.
It's
But
just being a person.
yeah,
Right.
um, yeah, I just think it's not fair. He needs to It's like Cleo and Christian. Like, if you're still figuring stuff out, you need to be honest with her, and she can decide if she wants to wait around or not.
Yeah, surprise, surprise, they broke up.
Yeah, I was so glad. Yes, free Cleo. We did
Free
it.
Cleo.
We did
Yeah.
it.
We did it, y'all. Just like free Britney, free Cleo.
Yeah.
She looks every Instagram post, everything. She has the same like moo moo sad
She's
face.
she's
Sad.
definitely like that ingenue, like a Mia Farrow in a sad movie that is just like in the corner posing in her like little 70s tights
Yeah,
and
and just
very sad. Yeah.
very, very emo, very
Yeah.
downtrodden. Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of like the Kate Moss days, like the heroin chic, right?
Mhm.
Like the hunched over shoulders, like
Mhm.
tall and thin, like and then hunched over shoulders like a praying mantis, like looking sad at the camera in a J. Crew jacket. Like you're not selling me that J. Crew jacket looking sad like that. I want to see somebody happy.
It's very much a switch of like, we are sad, the life is terrible, let's listen to Morrissey. And then it became like, let's all go to the park. And now then like cologne ads became like, let's frolic in the fields and we're all
Yeah.
happy and joyful. And then the society likes to tell us, are you supposed to be happy today or sad today?
Do you want to take a bath in a field?
Right.
You might need Cialis. Oh my God. All right. So that's the end of Justin and Nikki. And I think that what we see next week is that Justin is going to want Nikki to dress more conservatively to meet her family. And I got to tell you, I've got just the thing for her, Kimberly. If she wants to get some staple pieces in her closet to wear to meet Justin's family, she needs to shop at Quince. Be- Because Quince has all these timeless classics that are affordable. So she could get herself a gorgeous cashmere sweater with some sensible, lovely, like flowy pants, which she could
Mm,
wear with heels. She would still keep her own style, but she would be more conservative. And then she always has these timeless pieces in her closet to
yes.
pull out when she can't dress like a Barbie.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm saying. They've got the cashmere, they've got the suede and leather jackets. And I was telling you before we started, completely just off the cuff, I was telling you to go and look at their shearling slippers because they are the exact same slippers that I got last year for Christmas for half the price. Instead of 95, they are $50. And my daughter has worn them outside enough that my $95 ones are ruined.
I'm looking.
So go and look right now because everything they've got the greatest gifts. They've got these amazing like throw blankets and things. I've really been looking. And just last night I ordered 2 suitcases for our trip to Europe because we need 2 big suitcases because everybody has to have
They
their
have
own.
suitcases and they have clothes?
Yes, and they have, like, kid stuff. You just wouldn't believe it, and what I've told everybody a million times, they're sick of me saying this, I think, but when you scroll down, so you, like, see the suitcase, right, and you scroll down, and there's a little chart at the bottom that'll list Quince, let's say, 3 other suitcase brands that you know that are very popular, and it'll say, "This is the exact suitcase, and these are the prices," and it'll be anywhere from 50 to 80% less.
Amazing.
It's amazing. So I'm so happy that I have found Quince. I'm really everything I do now, I look there first for everything. So, and again, Nikki could find some staples for her closet that she could always wear around Justin's family, and they would think she's very
Mhm. Mhm.
classy. So Quince partners directly with top factories to cut the cost of the middleman. They pass the savings on to you, and they only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. So we can all
Good.
love that.
Yes.
So take the drama out of planning an outfit, Nikki, and upgrade your closet with Quince today. You're going to go to quince.com/pink shade for free shipping on your order. 365 days returns. That's right. 365-day return. So if on the
Wow.
363rd day,
Wow.
she decides she wants to dump Justin, she can still return the sweater that she didn't wear. So that's quince.com/pink shade, QUINCE.com/pink shade, and get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/pink shade. Everybody do it. And then please go and send me exactly what you bought, because lots of monkeys have been doing that. Like, oh, look, I got my daughter these amazing
I
PJs
love
from
that.
Quince. Yeah, I love that. Just like Meredith Mark says. Okay, let us go on to Nick and Devin. Now, before we get started, I sent you that Instagram post by Devin, right?
I feel so bad.
So I'm going to read it to everybody just so I want you to know that I guess Devin has been getting a lot of people commenting on how she looks and how she talks. And she seems to be a little, lockjawed or whatever. And she says, I would like to clear up some semi disappointing comments I've seen regarding myself on last night's 90 days. I'm so sorry. Okay. On last night, this was from 2 weeks ago. So not this one. We just saw the one before. I am not slow or delayed.
Oh,
I have always been someone who speaks very relaxed with a deeper voice, but due to circumstances that these interviews were taken, it was exacerbated. We had to film these in the middle of the night after I got off for my full-time job. I remember being so tired, I was scared of driving home. So I think that obviously they filmed these once she got to America, maybe they were together, or she means just the ones by herself.
yeah. She, yeah.
Maybe just the ones by herself. She says, I know I look very different than the photos and videos shown of me before. These were filmed at the end, and I had put on a lot of weight from binge drinking and eating and trying to cope with the anxiety of shooting the show.
Oh,
I I have
gosh.
lost somewhere between 25 and 30 pounds since that shoot. I saw some comments about TMJ, and yes, they're correct. I have had chronic jaw tension since I was a small child that only got worse as I aged. I was taking injections in Australia for it, but stopped when I came home. I have recently, within the last couple of months, started getting them again after seeing my face, how big it had gotten, and how much pain I was in. I just hope this clears some things up. It's unfortunate that when I was being filmed for national television, I felt and looked at my lowest. This is out of my control.
That's rough.
So, that's rough. Her name on Instagram is DevinHoofman, Devin Hoofman. So that's very interesting. Like we know that you remember watching like old Real Housewives of New York with Bethany, and her jaw was so big,
Yeah. Did she have
and then
TMJ?
she had TMJ, and she did all these injections, something like Botox, but maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, whatever she did it over a series of months, and it loosened that muscle, and was able to like get that big part of her. I know other people that have done this as well.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what she was doing in Australia. But then maybe when she got to Arkansas, the people in Arkansas were like, "What? Botox is only for your forehead." No, I'm just kidding. Just
Now we
kidding.
pissed off the
No,
Arkansas people.
I can say that because I'm from Mississippi. That's the same thing. Same thing. So no, I'm just kidding. I think that probably she realized that probably breaking her back teeth off, which has happened to me, and
Oh,
probably saw the you know the big jaw muscle that is built up. Yeah.
yeah.
Because if you look at her Instagram, she does look quite different. I think she's cute both ways. I do. I
I
think
think
she's
she's
cute.
adorable.
She's
She has
adorable.
such good skin
Yeah.
and
Yeah, she does.
hair, and yeah, I think I feel badly that people are being mean to her.
I do too, but I mean, are we surprised? Everybody's mean to everybody on these
No.
shows.
Mm-mm.
Nick has an underbite, so there. So
I didn't notice that.
they're meeting with his parents. And so they go down the elevator and he's like, don't forget to smile. Don't forget to smile. In his talking head, he says, it's important that they like her because I can't marry someone that they don't like. So it's raining and they go meet mom and dad outside, their umbrellas and all. And mom says, you look better in person. And dad says, you are pretty and skinny. Because he's probably expecting something different since he calls her Piggy.
Yeah, exactly.
But I
But
will say,
also, I thought the dad was supposed to be like cold and unfeeling, and the dad has this big smile on his face.
dad seems pretty sweet. I
Mom
will say,
scares me a little.
she scared me a little, and so I reached out to Bunky Jessica Dang, whose husband's name is Dang, and their last name is Dang. It's confusing, but he's great. I've talked to him before, and she's a wonderful Bunky. But he is an Asian man, and she married into an Asian family, and she always is full of information in these
Yeah.
situations as an American. And she said that the mom and the dad, first thing them saying is commenting on her looks and her weight is very par for the course.
Mm-hmm.
And they're absolutely not being insulting. This is just their culture to
Yeah.
immediately comment on someone's weight and their looks. And it wouldn't be taken the same as it would here. And she seemed to roll right with it. He must have warned her because he seemed to have warned her about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, he comments about her weight all the time, so I'm sure she was expecting it.
He's like, she's got an athletic build. I like it.
Yeah.
So they ask her questions. And doesn't this seem to you very typical? Like if you're first meeting future in-laws or your boyfriend's parents or whatever, doesn't this seem very typical? Like, how do you like Korea? How's it go? How's the weather in Arkansas?
Yeah.
It just seems very typical, nice conversation. And they seem lovely. And, but I will tell you that Jessica Dang said when she first started watching it, she was like, oh, she's going to get it from that mom. She's going to get it. Like that was her first thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the talking head, mom and dad are standing there together. And this is kind of when we thought dad seems a little cold. Mom says, I've never really thought much about America at all. But now my son has a girlfriend, so I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to look into it. And dad says, all I want to make sure is I have a daughter-in-law that respects her elders. That's all I care about.
Okay.
Okay. So they go to a restaurant and Nick's sister and niece and nephew are there. Lots of screenshots of the niece giving the side eye with her little pigtails like, good luck, girl. And they're all there. And mom immediately tells Nick to tell Devin she's got lipstick on her teeth. And so he's like, oh, and
very strange.
She felt so awkward with that. Mom should have told him and then he should have just sort of whispered it to her. It shouldn't have been like, my mom said you have lipstick on your teeth. It should have been like he looked over and noticed it and be like, hey, babe, you got a little something.
Right. But then he gets it off with like Kleenex, like,
yeah.
Which is very intimate. And
very, yeah.
If I was seeing that, I'd be like, wow, they're a very close couple, I guess.
Yeah. And so the whole family's staring as he wipes it off.
Yeah, then everyone's staring. Did he get it off? Is there more lipstick?
And then she feels more self-conscious, like about what she looks like,
Exactly. Oh God, I feel self-conscious now that I have stuff in my teeth.
Oh, and so they ask Nick, so what Korean words can she speak? And she says she can speak some, but she's like, I'm shy and I don't want to do it right now. Like she's like embarrassed because she's now been told her weight is fine. And also she's got lipstick on her teeth. So she's like, oh shit, this is not going great, So, and also she's tired. She's been there like one day,
Oh, yeah.
So mom says, when you get married, like when you're in Arkansas, where will you live? And he says, for 1 year, they're going to live with her parents. And you wonder, like, do they not really know this? Like,
right.
This is really like brand new information?
Right.
Guys,
I don't think he's very close to his parents.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the dogs barking. There are.
I have a dog barking here too.
3 other people above the age of 18 in this house. So, mom says, so he says they're going to live with the parents. And mom says, well, I will miss you a lot. And he says, I'm going to try to come back and visit when I can, but I'll be honest, like it's hard. It's not like, it'll be hard to visit. It's expensive. It's not close, whatever. And he translates to Devin and says, Mom feels worried that I'm leaving for good, like I'll never come back or whatever. And Devin gets emotional, and Mom says, why is she crying? And then he doesn't even realize he's just eating. He doesn't even,
Mm-hmm.
and he looks at her and he tries to console her, but he's doing like the pat, 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 pat,
Yeah.
like the fast patting, like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, there, stranger,
There. Yeah.
stranger, I don't know you. And he pats her over and over. And Devin says, it's just a lot of pressure. I feel like this whole situation is my fault. Like your parents are saying, and there had to have been at least 30 minutes of this conversation we didn't see.
Absolutely. And I think
So,
she's just so overwhelmed and tired, and all the emotions were bubbling up.
yeah, I think so too. I think she's overtired and she's like, now your parents are saying they're worried you're never coming back and it's my fault. But I think there had to have been other things said that we didn't see because she wouldn't have just cried over saying, oh, yeah, well, I'm going to be sad when you leave. It'll be hard.
I
Like,
think
obviously,
he's not doing a good job of translating also. Like
maybe so.
I like I just don't think he's getting all the nuances there. I wish they had had maybe a professional translator because
Yes.
there's a lot of nuances, and he's a guy, just a
Uh-huh.
stereotypical guy who's like not going to really translate the feelings as much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if there was warmth from what the mom was saying, she's not getting any of that.
Yeah. You're right. You're so right. So he says he can tell that Devin is overwhelmed because of the language barrier. And then she's outside. She's like, I just feel so stupid because I just started crying. I mean, and then she's like, now I feel stupid because I'm crying. So it's like, we've all been there. I mean, it's like one thing on top of the other. Like, now I'm mortified because I'm crying in front of these people. And now they're like, my son is marrying this crybaby.
Hmm.
So Nick tells Mom, Devin just feels bad because I'm going to be so far away from my family. And then Mom says, oh, tell her parents will worry about their children no matter what. It doesn't matter. So it's okay. Tell her it's okay. I just hope that you're going to call me when you're going through bad times. We just want you to do well. We support you. We'll continue to support you. Mom, I mean, they're saying very nice things.
Hmm.
So again, we probably miss another 45 minutes of the conversation. And Mom says, I was worried about meeting with this foreign girl, but Nick has always done well. We've always trusted his decision, and I hope they're going to have a happy life together. And Dad says, yes, and I hope they overcome hardships in the future, which again, I think is a language barrier. I think he's just trying to say, I hope they, good and bad, I hope they can
Yeah.
get through things. Yeah. But they seemed very sweet.
I think her crying helped because it
Yeah.
showed that she cares, and
Yeah.
that's nice. Yeah.
So outside by the car, they all hug each other and say they'll talk later. And it seems like this is it. Like they're moving tomorrow. We'll never see you again. But I think not. I think they're going to be seeing them again, right?
It did seem like a goodbye forever.
Yeah. Sort of like another pat, pat, pat on the shoulder. See you never.
Yeah.
Bye. Strange.
What do you Some people online have been talking about her makeup, her eye
Yeah.
makeup specifically.
I asked Jessica Tang about that as well.
Okay.
And I meant to mention it to you before we started recording because I was like, I wonder if Kimberly noticed it as well. Jessica thinks she literally is just bad at makeup. And this is what Jessica said. Some old lady 10 years ago at a beauty class taught her in Arkansas how to do her makeup and she's stuck with it.
Uh-huh. I can see
Um,
that.
and she's trying to do a cat eye, but she's doing the wrong way. And then
Yeah.
she's like too tired to fix it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I asked Jessica, do you think she's trying to make her eyes look a certain way? And Jessica said, no, I really don't. I
Okay.
really don't.
Yeah, people online think that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have again, I'm off the Reddit now, so I don't know if they've said that. That was just my thoughts.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Manuel and Ashley.
Oh boy. So
boy.
it starts with like happy Snow White music, sort of like you know, birds are landing on your shoulder and it's just
Mhm.
everything's beautiful and they're all happy and he's petting Rico Suave. And then the producer says, I'm sorry, wait a second. You just had a huge fight like a while ago. What happened? Why is everything all happy? And Ashley's like, we had sex. Sex helps all of our fights. It's magic. And then you think she means like metaphorically, but she's like, no, actual magic. We have magical sex and
Uh-huh.
you can too. And she gives us a little tutorial. Apparently, while you're having sex, you think about what you desire most. And when
Mhm.
you climax, you picture that thing in your head and it vibrates around in your head. And then I guess it comes true. You can manifest whatever by focusing on it when you're having sex.
Okay. All right. Somebody out there, try that out and let me know if it happened.
Thank you.
Okay.
If you get that promotion at work, let us know.
If that beach house falls right in your lap, let me
Yeah.
know. Because that's what I would be. I would be like, beach house, beach house, beach house, beach house.
So they go to a witchy bar to meet her friends, and the friends are being nice. They're trying to speak Spanish. And she says, it's hard because with your friends, they remember all the complaining you've done about the relationship and
Yep.
not the good stuff, which is 100% true. And then she says, well, we've been fighting all the time, and he has been laughing about me being a witch. And like, you just said that they only hear the bad stuff, and now you're only telling them the bad stuff. And
Did you watch the pillow talk for this yet? I only watched
no,
a little. Un poquito. I watched a little, and Veronica says the way he is speaking is so fast. There's no way the friend that just speaks like Babel Duolingo
uh-huh.
Spanish is going to be able to follow what he's saying. There's no way. She's like, he'll be able to understand her, but there's no way she can understand him the way he talks super rapidly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the friend says, are you guys communicating, or are you just effing out your problems,
Bang
basically?
it out.
Bang it
Bang it
out.
out. Yep.
And she's like, well, and then he just jumps in and says, she's so annoying. She talks too much. And then she gets annoyed. She's like, why are you starting a fight with me? You were so disrespectful towards me. And they basically start having this little argument, but it's kind of, they're trying to be nice for the friends. So it's one of those like, honey, why are you doing that? I love you so much, but why are you doing that? And so they think he's controlling, which they must have gotten from her. I don't find him that controlling. I just think he's a little standoffish and doesn't care that much. But
I think he
then
just
she's
has
in
a
the
lot of like, Latin American men machismo, like I'm the man kind of a thing.
mm-hmm.
Listen, when they started having this fight, I was terrified they're going to get up and be like, "We're going to the bathroom, got to
We
bang it
gotta
out.
go
We'll be
have
right back.
sex. Bye.
Be right back. Be right back."
Be back in
Yeah,
5, and we'll
yeah.
be in better moods. So she says, are you ready to get married? They ask him that, and he says, 80%. And so I think we need more time together, which is true. They do.
Yeah. Mm.
But also the foreigners on the show love their percentages. I
Yeah, they
think
do.
she is 50% good looking. I am
Yeah,
into her vagina 70%.
yeah.
So she says, we have to get to know each other, but you never really know anybody. There's always secrets. And the friends jump in and say, well, we're married, we don't have secrets. And I was thinking, that about, that's why they're called secrets. You don't know if
Secrets.
secrets. And I guarantee you that husband has secrets.
Yeah, he does. He's like, "Don't put the camera right on me when you say that."
Exactly. The wife totally thinks they don't have secrets, and he's thinking, I killed a homeless man in '87. You don't know about it.
Oh my god.
So, Dateline has taught me that you never really know somebody. You can sleep next to somebody for 30 years, and you never really know them. So
That's right.
he's being really chill. He says I was getting really heated, but he actually, I thought, handled it pretty well. Like, maybe because he's not speaking in English, so they're not quite sure what he's saying, but I thought he was fairly calm throughout. He doesn't like flip
Yeah,
a
yeah,
table or
yeah.
anything.
But he's pissed.
Yeah, he's pissed
Yep.
inside. Yeah. So they go to therapy because she wants to do group therapy, and he has a bad attitude right away. I don't have anything I need to work on. You're annoying, and my private life is mine. And so she thinks of therapy as like preventative. It can prevent a divorce before we're even married. And
Well, she's
he
not
thinks
wrong
she's
in
not
that
wrong.
like a couples therapy is good before you get married so you can sort of uncover some of these things and learn to communicate better. But if his
Absolutely.
attitude is my life is my life and you don't get to know anything, it's
Yeah.
probably not going to go very well.
Exactly. And his thing is like she starts problems where there aren't any, and then she picks at it until there's a problem and creates
Mhm.
a problem. And he says, I just never want to deal with it, so I just walk away to avoid a fight. But she wants to like get in there. So the therapist, who is beautiful, by the way, and I thought he might be like into her, and like maybe he'd be like, okay, I'll try therapy. And she's bilingual, so she can speak in Spanish to him. So
Mhm.
Ashley says there's a wall around certain parts of his life, and the therapist kind of translates it to him in a not exactly right way and I wish that, why don't they translate like exactly what the person's saying? They
Because
do.
sometimes there's not a phrase that matches and you have to do
Yeah.
it close enough. But what did the therapist say instead of there's a wall?
That you're too secretive and
Uh-huh.
you don't share with her. And
Okay.
like I was like, okay, I guess that's kind of right. But she specifically said there are like certain parts of his life that he
Hmm.
keeps private.
Hmm.
So he says, I always feel like she's accusing me of things. Like when she starts fights, like I'm always doing something wrong. And Ashley says he will focus on the TV and zone me out and just ignore me, and I want to like fight. It pisses me off. And he says, I'm avoiding the problem. And she says, but by you doing that, it pisses me off more. And then it's a bigger problem. And he's like, and then I just sit back and enjoy. So he kind of enjoys pissing her off and picking and letting her, and she thinks that is so rude. Like that's a huge problem.
It's a
And
huge problem. That
yeah,
is what an asshole thing to say, and to say it with a smile, like to the therapist, like, see the control I have over her. I can make her so mad. But also, hasn't he only been there like 5 days? How often has he watched TV and zoned out where she's had to fight with him? Like, he
it
hasn't been there
seems
3 months.
every day this is happening.
Yeah,
Like a fight and then makeup sex. And
yeah.
also, if you're having makeup sex, maybe that's part of why he's enjoying these fights so much, because he knows he's going to have hot makeup sex.
Great point.
You're
Great
rewarding
point.
the behavior.
Great point. Yeah.
So she says, I feel like you have a secret life. And he says, I want privacy. And it appears that this fight continues on till next week. And they are still fighting at the therapist's office.
Yeah. Yeah. This is not a match. Move on.
Yeah, move on.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to go into Jasmine and Gino. And you did a great job with them last week.
Thank you.
And
Not as
these
well
two,
as you.
well, it's not a competition. Or as my cousin Paige would say, don't be so competitious. Um, at my cousin Paige's wedding, she's been married as long as I have, 23 years at this point. Her friends got up and did a list of all the words that she's made up in her life.
Oh my God, that's so
Because
cute.
she's my sister does this too. She just takes like the first couple letters and then makes up the rest.
Yeah.
And one of them that has stuck with me for my whole life is competitious. Like, they were doing something and she got mad at her friends. Like, why do you have to be so? Don't be so competitious.
I love
It's
it.
not a competitious. And so I bet we say that once a day in this house. Stop
I
being so
love it.
competitious. It's
I'm
not a
not
competitious.
superstitious. I'm a little stitious.
I'm a little competitious, not superstitious. It's a new rap. Okay. So it's a new rap for Mikey on Love After Lockup.
Ah, yes.
Did you see
Or
his rap this
Mickey,
week?
as I like to call him.
Or Mickey, as you like to call him. Did you see Mikey's rap this week?
No, I haven't watched yet.
Okay. Well, if you didn't hear it, just listen to my recap because I do the rap for you.
Yes.
You're welcome. So, Jasmine and Gino, these two adorable lovebirds, just the sweetest couple of all time, are heading out to meet Gino's family to eat and play bocce ball. She says she doesn't trust any of his family at all. Any communication she's had with them has not been nice. We get a clip package. And she's trying to make sure she's dressed up nice and she's covered. She could also get some clothes from Quince, just some classic
Mm-hmm.
pieces. She's trying to make sure she covers everything up and looks professional so they don't think she's a gold digger. Okay.
Yeah,
It's a business
you're
casual outfit. I was like, why didn't everybody else is in like jeans and an American flag t-shirt? Why not
yeah, yeah.
jeans and
But
a
also
shirt?
it's not just like it's her whole it's her whole body. It's like all the proportions that have
Yeah.
been so
Altered.
man-made altered
Hmm.
are giving it, but whatever, do what you want to do. I'm not trying to body shame her, but it's hard to
Yeah.
hide. What I'm saying is it's hard to hide what she has going on.
You just look on the internet, you can see her full naked. So it's not, you just put on your regular clothes. It doesn't matter. But I was glad that she did that she sort of like respected what, without Gino having to tell her. She
Yeah.
tried to like, yeah.
Hmm.
So she says, I'm just going to be myself because, I'm friendly, I'm talkative, I'm so funny. But if you know me, I take no shit. So she says, and if they're disrespectful, I'm just going to leave. So in the car, she tells Gino, I feel like a cow. And he looks over at her and she goes, like a cow going to the butchery. He's like, oh my God. He goes, I willingly and happily met your sisters and your mom and everything. I met your whole family. So what's this about? And she goes, well, they have texted me negatively, and your sister wants to take a lovely vacation in Florida.
How have we not moved past this, Jasmine?
Again, we're on Laurie's side. That's not what she meant. It's not what she meant. She just meant when you're planning it, please don't do it in this 5-day window where I'm going to be in
Because I
Florida.
want to be
Because I
there.
want to
Because
come.
I care. Yeah.
Yeah. She says, they texted me negatively, and if I don't feel comfortable, we're going to have to go home. And he goes, all right. So they're driving, and as they're walking in, the weather is like super cold and rainy, and he's putting his arm around her. She's called fucking Michigan. Yes, it's just never been anything less of an ad for Michigan than this one. So she says, this weather's like a horror movie, and this is how I feel, like the doom and the gloom. And my biggest fear of all is they're going to all tell Gino not to marry me, and he listens to what they say. They've already told him this hundreds of times. Hundreds. So you imagine each of those people individually has had a meal with him. They're like, Gino, we'll take you out to dinner and beers and bocce ball if you'll just come to dinner and let's talk. And every single one of them individually has done it, and he hasn't listened.
Mm-hmm.
So they arrive at the restaurant, and they meet sister-in-law Laurie, who's lovely, who's married to brother-in-law Tony, and then Anthony, the nephew, who was cute,
Mm-hmm.
and cousin Dana, in his American flag shirt that he borrowed from that guy from Love is Blind. Yeah.
It's like a black and white American flag shirt.
It's something.
Is it she's Black Lives Matter, please? It's Blue Lives Matter, I think. I might.
Do you think it was? I thought it was just sort of a darker dye, but it did seem red and blue to me.
I don't. Oh, yeah. To me, it looked like very black and white.
I don't know. Everybody, let us know what you think. Yeah. Anyway, he wants to let her know where she is now.
Yeah,
and where she is now is America. Yeah. And here we wear shirts like this. What if she would have like Scarlett O'Hara style, ripped that Panamanian flag off the wall and made herself a dress? It was like, well, you can wear that. I can wear this. Yeah. That'd have been great. So she says she's walking in. She feels like a prey, and they're all just like animals waiting to attack. And Gino's like, oh, my God, be more dramatic. I mean, please.
Be nicer.
So they walk in, and they all meet her. They all seem lovely. They're all smiling. She's smiling. She looks really cute in her conservative dress. And Gino, of course, right, was like, yeah, bocce ball. Let's do it. Let's get you a glass of wine. Yeah. Same thing he does, like, hey, Coco. Hey. This is his fake voice, right? Yeah.
He's like an MC at a bat mitzvah.
Yeah. Everything she says, he's like, all right, there's Coco. So Gino says he can't believe Jasmine is so good at bocce ball. She just picked it up right away, and she played it, and he couldn't believe it. And the talking head, Laurie and Tony, are like, here's what we don't understand about this relationship. He's not good looking. That's really not very nice. That's your brother and your brother-in-law. He's not good looking. He doesn't have anything going for him. He's a total fucking loser. He has no money. And then on social media, we see the provocative things that she posts. And we see, a bunch of pictures. And we wonder, why does she do that? Why is she doing that? To attract other sugar daddies? No, it's for her OnlyFans. It's for her subscription service. That's what it's for.
I wish they had gone into like, he has a shark nose. He has chicken legs. He does. Like if they listed the exact same things.
Oh my God, that would have been great.
He smells bad. And he has a hat that he wears to bed. And
he's bald, and also he doesn't clean his toilet.
Yeah, why do you hang out with him? He sounds horrible.
He's disgusting. So Jasmine talks to Laurie, and she says, I depend on Gino, and that's hard because, I've always, had a job and everything, and now I'm here, and I have got to depend on him to drive me places. I gave my car to my sister. I was like, what, did you think you were bringing your car over on a barge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was not the best example.
Yeah. She was like, until I have no money, I don't have a credit card right now. Like I have nothing, and that's hard, and that'll be, hard for a while. And Laurie says, listen, you're here. You can always call me. You can talk to me, which was very, very nice.
Yes.
I think she should lean on Laurie as a girl power sister friend.
Absolutely.
And Laurie married into this family as well,
Yeah. So I'm sure she doesn't love Jasmine or Gino that much.
No.
They could sympathize.
She probably hates Dana and his stupid shirt too.
Yeah.
So she cries and hugs her and says, "Thank you, Lori." So
I thought
Gino
you
is now
hated Lori. Come on,
right.
Jasmine, get it together.
Vacation in Florida. So much like the scene on with Nikki and Justin, with Justin sitting with the dudes, and then Nikki going to talk to the girl. Gino is sitting with cousin Dana and Anthony. I don't see his brother Tony there, but I'm sure he is. And they're like, "How's it going with her here?" And he goes, "Well, it's been 3 days or whatever. It hasn't been all roses, of course. I mean, that's all it should be. The first 3 days is nothing but happiness."
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Here's the problem. I gave her a sum of money for the wedding
Don't tell
dress,
them this.
but she spent it on a cosmetic surgery, $4,000. And of course, they don't ask what it is, but of course, they're like, we can visibly see what it is, even in that conservative business casual dress,
Yep. It's either up front or behind.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Dana says, cousin, that's a big red flag. And I don't mean like you should get her in line or anything, but like, you got to get control of the situation. Like you need to control I didn't mean that. I mean, she can't do that stuff, man. America. Right.
I mean, they're not wrong. It's super shady. He should have told
Yes.
them this. He is trying to get everyone to get along.
Now, is he going to tell them? Also forgot to mention that I didn't tell her I quit my job. So she thought we had plenty of money.
There you go.
Gift to the Magi. So Anthony goes, "Yeah, there are a lot of red flags here, and we just worried that she's using Gino. Like, look at him. Wow.
He's horrible. Did I mention that
God,
he's
gross.
ugly?
Wow, and he can't play bocce ball for shit." So Laurie asks, they're all sitting together, and Laurie says to Jasmine and Gino, "What are you guys thinking about the wedding?" And Jasmine goes, "I'm just thinking none of you are invited. So go to Florida." She says, "I just thinking I want a small thing with me and Gino, and of course my dog Coco, because my mom and my sisters, they can't be here, so it's very sad for me."
She doesn't
That breaks
mention the
my heart.
children, I noticed.
Should have mentioned also my 2 children can't come. And she says, and also Dan, he's busy. So he's coming to collect his money that I can't pay him back because Gino doesn't have a job. So Anthony and Dana are like, why doesn't she want to celebrate with us? And why won't he chime in and say, my family should be invited?
That better. She for sure could have phrased that better.
Yeah, she should have said, like, I think we'll just do a small wedding between the 2 of us. And then when my mom and sisters are able to visit, we'll do a party.
With all this family and my family, and we'll become one family together. And she could have made it very nice.
Yeah, maybe in a year they could get a travel visa and we can make a big party when Gino's got a job again.
Mm-hmm.
So Anthony says, Jasmine, I wonder how grateful you are to Gino. Which was just so like, look at him. He should be grateful to her. What are you talking about? You just pointed out how gross he is.
Yeah, exactly.
So she goes, I get that. I get what you're saying. But also, he should be grateful to me because I have left everything I love. I left my family. Oh, also my children. I forgot those 2. I have the children.
I got fired from my job because he showed everyone my boobies.
And I gave my sister my car. So I don't have a credit card. So I left everything to come here to have subscription service, OnlyFans. And Gina goes, yeah, that's right. Jasmine did leave everything behind to come here to Michigan. She did. And Tony says, how will you contribute to be a productive American?
I lost it. My dad goes, who do you think he voted for?
We're not getting into that here on this podcast. But Tony, I was Team Tony because he's married to Laurie and she seems great.
Yeah.
But Tony, don't say how will you contribute to be a productive American. Let Dana say the dumb shit. Dana say the dumb shit.
I would like that if you're going to say stuff like that, I need a list of everyone in Gino's family. I need to find out how many are on welfare and getting support from the government. It better be none if you're going to pull stuff like that.
And I would like everybody in their family to be a teacher or doing something to give back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to get all of them tickets to Hamilton so they can learn that immigrants get the job done.
Okay. I'm going to Hamilton in London in December.
I'm so jealous.
Will everyone have a British accent? I don't know.
Oh
so
that'll really flip it with King George. That's going to be a trip.
It's going to be confusing. So Jasmine says, well, and I thought she was calm. She says, I'm educated and I've worked since I was 16, but with the visa, I'm not allowed to work right away. I'm not after Gino's money, so I don't know why you have those concerns. Look at him." So she says, so she says to Tony, like, "Why would you suggest a prenup? I took that as an offense." And Tony goes, "Well, when I got married, I signed one." And Laurie's like, "Yeah, look at this guy. Of course he did. I would have taken my money.
Why
God."
are we marrying into this family,
Yeah.
Jasmine? Let's the two
Laurie,
of us go off and find some better men.
yeah, Laurie's like, "Me and you, girl, we'll talk later." And Laurie, and then Laurie and Tony are both sort of like, he's worked really hard his whole life and it's just a protection. It's not like a big deal. And Laurie says, "Yeah, like if you had bad intentions, which, I don't think you do." And Gina and Jasmine's just doing that death stare, right?
Hmm. They're not wrong because she's worked her whole life too, but she spends her money on
Mm-hmm.
surgeries and expensive things and
Yeah.
apartments. He's
Mm-hmm.
worked his whole life and has saved. So there is a
Right.
difference there financially.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also he had that other wife that he brought over from another country that
Of
didn't
course.
work out.
Yeah, we can't forget about her.
So in her talking head, Jasmine says, "I feel like I'm being attacked and nothing about me will ever be good enough. And I have no idea what I can do to convince his family that I'll be good enough to be in the family."
Hmm.
So they leave and they seem like everything's smiling and happy. So in the car, Jasmine says, "So is no one in your family from anywhere other than the US?" And he goes, What do you mean? I don't know." And she goes, "I mean, maybe that's why they have lack of empathy towards me. Maybe no one's ever been from anywhere else." And
They
so now
are, though. Everyone is, unless you're
this
an indigenous person.
you're from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Everyone's from somewhere else.
And his family's Italian, right? So at some point they immigrated from Italy.
Yeah, right. So he goes, "I don't know, Jasmine, you just have to give them a chance." So she drops her phone. Now, lots of people on the interwebs thought this was completely fake.
I wrote, was this a staged scene?
I don't think that Gino is a good enough actor that if she is acting this crazy, he can keep a straight face.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've been tricked by these shows before. So she drops her phone, I think, and she's digging around under the seat. And he goes, "You're not going to be able to get it while we're driving. Just forget it. Like, wait till we come to like a hard stop or whatever. And then we'll get it when we get home. We'll get a
Yeah.
flashlight." And how many times have I had this conversation with somebody in my car? I was like, "It's gone. You
It's
have to
gone.
wait till we
It
stop."
belongs to the car now.
Yeah, you're going to have to wait till we stop and get out a flashlight. So she pulls out like a lip gloss and she goes, "What is this?"
And she's
And
like
he goes,
staring at him in slow motion, like Shelley Duvall when she's reading All Work and No Play Makes Jack a Dull Boy on the
"Mm,
typewriter in The Shining, where it's like this
yes."
realization is coming over her in slow motion.
And he goes, "I have no idea what that is." She goes, "You do know what it is." And he's like, "I don't fucking know." And she goes, "Well, you just have to lip gloss." And so he says, "Could be a coworker or another motherfucker that was in my car and dropped it when we got out of the car." And then she's like, "You're going on dates with your coworkers." And he goes, "Coworkers go out for lunch." And she goes, "Oh my God, you were dating your coworker." And he goes,
Insane.
"No." He's like, "No, I've had this car a long time." And then she says in her talking head, "I know now how to read Gino's body language, and I can tell right away when he's guilty of something." And I gotta say, she's not wrong. He did act guilty.
He
He
did.
did act very nervous.
But honestly, like he could have a PTSD response to all the other times she's lost it for no reason.
That's true. That's true.
And he could
So,
just the hairs raise up on the back of your neck. You can tell when she's about to lose it.
yeah. And so she's yelling and like, "You're disgusting. Oh, Gino, you're a cheater. Oh." And he goes, "I didn't cheat." She goes, "You did. You did." And he says, "You are ridiculous. Holy shit." And she was like, "I'm going back to Panama. I never want to see you again." And he goes, "Good. Go back. You're crazy. Good." I mean, their fights go from meet the family, plan our wedding to "I want to go back to Panama. Fuck you, whore." I mean, it's you.
He says, "You're sickening."
Yeah. Their fights go from "I can't wait to plan our wedding, just me and you and Coco,"
Yeah.
to this.
To I
In
hope
a
you get murdered by a serial killer. Like, it's so
It's
bad.
wild. It's so bad that you can't live like this.
No.
Their heart's gonna explode with stress.
It is, yeah, it's not good for their cholesterol, their blood pressure, their
Nothing.
no.
So she's wailing and leaning on the window. Oh, and she goes, "Let me get my dog Coco and let me get my things." And he goes, "Fine, I'm going to call an Uber for you. Fine." Now, somebody on the interwebs looked up the distance between his home and this bocce ball place, and it's like 45 minutes. So,
But they weren't there, they had been driving for a while, so
yeah,
they're in a parking lot.
yeah. So I was like, is she saying, let's get home and pack your shit and call an Uber? I don't know. Anyway, unclear. So she's bawling, goes like, I just need my passport and I don't have any cash because I don't have any cash. So she dramatically stands by a wall, like 16 candles style, right? Like brooding
Yes!
teenager leaning against the wall.
The lean against the wall, yeah,
Yeah.
mhm.
Like, oh, if I stand here long enough, my beloved will come and find me. Oh. We were in college. I had a friend who was dramatic and was in a fight with her boyfriend. And he called the dorm room and was like, have you seen her? And my friend was like, no, I haven't seen her. And he goes, I'm going to go drive around and look for her, which is what she wanted. So he drove around Oxford, where the school was, looking for her. And he found her this exact same thing, dramatically sitting up against a brick wall, where you could see if you were driving by.
Yep,
So,
uh-huh.
yeah, at a, the English lit building or whatever, like
Yes, I've
dramatically. This is what she's doing. She's, oh, I'm going to lean on this wall. Gino will come and tell me that everything's okay. And the lip gloss is for Lori. What he should have said right away was, oh, yeah, I think that's Lori's. And then
Yeah,
if she would have been like, let's call her right now, Lori would have had his back in a second. She would have been like, oh, shit. Yeah, that's mine.
uh-huh.
Mm,
Yeah, Lori's
yeah.
a down bitch. She would have been like, "Okay."
Yeah. Yeah. But then would Jasmine be like, we're taking this directly to a DNA lab to
Yeah.
prove that the lip particles on it belong to Lori.
But I think she would still be like, "Are you sleeping with Lori?" Like,
Yes.
is there
True.
anybody, it needs to be a blood relative, but even then she'd be like, "Are you doing the incest?" Like, even if it was a blood relative.
I think you're right. I think you're right. There's no winning here. So anyway, they're still together. Who cares? We saw them at the 90-day party. We still haven't met Citra and Sam. Sam is the one with
We
the
have a new
large.
couple?
Yeah, Citra from Indonesia, and Sam is the one with the giant neck tattoo. That the first night he's trying to get some, and she's like, "No, not in my culture. Like, go in the other room." Yeah,
I'm so excited. I can't believe we have a new couple.
he's a depressing man from Missouri, and she's from Indonesia. That's all I got.
Perfect
Yeah,
match. I'm so
perfect match.
excited.
So next time on, we see Devin and Nick dressing in traditional Korean clothes, which are gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
Yes.
And he proposes, and I love seeing this cultural moment. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
He proposes, and then Manuel tells the therapist that his life is private, and she says, I'm tired of your mouth. And he says, I'll walk home. And she goes, where are you going? He goes, I'll go home. It's su casa. Just wait, whatever. So Nikki looks at conservative clothes, like we said, to wear for his parents. She puts on a hot pink business lady suit and then shows her ass. It was like, is this good? And he's like, no. You need to be in a full Mrs. Roper muumuu.
Hmm.
Um, a friend, or maybe it's the sister, asked Anali why she has not posted anything with Clayton on her social media pages. And she says, it's because of my dad. And the sister's like, that seems fishy. And he says, I can't imagine she's going to fake a relationship for 2.5 years. And then something happens and the sister gets upset and walks off. And
Yeah.
you know what I think happens? Annalee's like, why can't mom live with you? I think they're like, it's time. We're having this meeting to say that I've done it for 3 years. Now it's time for you to have a closet for mom.
Yes, let's do it.
A Closet for Mom is a Hallmark movie. Just kidding.
Mhm.
Um, So Jasmine continues to sob and says, please just buy me a ticket and I want to go back to Panama. And he's going, I didn't cheat on you. I was never with any girl. And she was like, you did. You did. And he says, I didn't. She says, I did. And then she says, but why did you react like that? All nervous, Gino. Okay. Now,
And they're still in the parking lot, right?
they're still in the parking lot. She's freezing. She's depressing in Michigan. So Robert goes to see Sophie in that minimum $5,000 a month rental that she's in, and that the production definitely got for her.
Mhm.
And he says he's worried about what I might say because, like, he's got one shot and it better be the right thing. And generally, he does not say the right thing. He generally puts all the blame on her.
Yes.
So she says to him, how will I gain your trust back? That's not, I don't think that's what she meant to say. How will I gain trust back in you is maybe what
Yes.
she meant to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he says, I'll spend the rest of my life trying to show you. And she says, well, someone loyal doesn't do this. They just don't. And she's 100% right.
Yeah. Mhm.
And
So
he
why
spent
are you even meeting with him?
why spend the rest of your life trying to show someone they can trust you? How about just be trustworthy at the beginning and you don't have to have this?
Exactly.
What would happen if Jasmine was with Rob? He would be dead.
That would be our Dateline crossover.
That would be the Dateline crossover. But alas, he's too good looking. She only likes unattractive men. She still does.
Good point. Yeah.
So that's the end of our show. And what I came out of it is we have a new catchphrase for Nikki, which is no quickie Nikki.
I
No quickie
love it.
Nikki.
We've
Nikki, no
accomplished a lot
quickie.
today.
We still don't have the mystery solved of what's her name's hair, Sophie. Uh, we do believe that like the front part is all her hair, and then she puts like on a wig on for the back part.
Yeah, and I think someone in your Facebook said, "Well, listen, she's mixed race, so she has textured hair that maybe is in a growing out stage, or she didn't care for it properly and it's dried
Hmm.
out and processed, and she's in that weird in between stage. It's unfortunate that she's on TV if
Yeah,
you're in
because
that stage."
it is like black and yellow,
Yeah,
like where
but
she's
that might be
growing it
the
out.
look. I don't know. A lot of people like the roots look. I don't get it.
Billie Eilish does. She did
Yeah,
green for a while now. She's done red.
there you go.
In case anybody cares about that's your Billie Eilish corner. We always have to have one.
But Sophie is adorable. I think she's
She's
very pretty.
she's the cutest.
Yeah.
Kimberly, what's happening over on A Date with Dateline and A Date with the Bake? Which episode are you covering on Wednesday?
It's called The End of the Affair, and it takes place in Florida, and there might be a drug cartel involved. And it's very gruesome and
And was it on this
full
past Friday or
suspense.
Saturday?
Thursday,
God, you just keep switching it up and you're killing me.
NBC is switching it up.
All right, all right. The End of the Affair from last Thursday
Yes.
will be on A Date with Dateline this Wednesday. I always like to know because I start to
Yes.
listen and I'm like, even though sometimes like I said, if I haven't seen the episode, I just listen to you guys tell it to me because it's soothing to me.
Well,
It's
thank you. I
soothing.
appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah. Everybody follow Kimberly and Katie at Dateline. And is it also at Date Bake or
A
Date
Date
with
with the
Bake?
Bake.
A Date with the Bake.
I
Okay.
think because
And
it's long, it's shorter. We got it all in.
yeah.
Yeah.
And guys, please, I'm begging you to follow me over on Instagram at Pink Shade Pod. I'm close to 8,400.
Keisha and I were trying.
Yeah.
I was more optimistic, and Keisha was like, "We're not going to get her to 10,000 by the time she's back from Bravo."
No, no. I mean, I did gain maybe 100 at BravoCon.
That's great.
And I think that was literally just from meeting people and handing them our chip and saying, like, do you have Instagram? Can you please
Mhm.
follow us and all that? But, with the amount of people that I ran into and gave me some sort of illness, probably I should have come up at least 1,000, but I didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
It's hard out here. Anyway, guys, also, I'd like to remind you that on Thursday, I'll be doing Bravo coverage with Christian Gray Snow, who has that amazing Instagram account. He's a BravoCon buddy. He's coming on. Love, 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 love that guy. And, he's got some controversial opinions. He's a huge Teresa stan.
Oh, interesting.
So he and I will have to discuss. I'm not going to fight with him about it. That's not what I'm here for. I really just want to know why. Like, I really want to know why. Really want to know why. He's great. So that's Thursday. And then Amy Archer will be back this weekend. Last week I recorded with Matt of Reality Gaze. Amy Archer will be back this weekend to continue our coverage of 90 Day the Other Way and Plathville. And like I said, also over there on Pink Shade Prime, which is Supercast and Patreon, we are covering The Family Chantel. I'm doing that with Keisha. It comes out on Wednesdays, and Keisha has a lot to say. A
I'm
lot to
so
say
excited.
always. And so you get Keisha twice. Once on she was like, I'm really moving up because I moved over to the
Mhm.
Prime. And I was like, but see, more people hear you on the public feed. She was like, oh.
Yeah, Katie said the same thing. She's like, "Wow, you're doing a full season on the main feed," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I did the last season on the main feed." She's like, "Huh, I'm only on the Patreon." So she was thinking like the Patreon is less prestigious
Right. I think it's more prestigious because people, if they really want to hear it, they have to pay to hear it, right?
Yeah, that
So
makes it very prestigious.
it makes it very prestigious. I can't just pick anybody to
Yeah,
go over there. Yeah.
exactly.
You got to be people that can jump in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just for the
Also,
freebies.
you're just for the
The
free
random
people, Kimberly.
Joes at home that wanna listen.
Guys, if you remember last year, I did a moment with, no, it was earlier this year actually, with time, Jake and Matt, and Kimberly and Katie and I are going to be doing a moment around the holidays. We will be announcing it very soon, and we are going to cover something holiday, something possibly mysterious, possibly a holiday murder, although it's not very
TBD.
uplifting. TBD. But we are going to be doing that. It's going to be super fun. The throuple will be back together. I've already booked I have two special guests coming.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know who yours is going to be.
I
I
don't,
think,
and Katie said she knows too. I have no idea. It'll be a
yeah,
surprise to me as too.
I don't know. I'm just guessing who it will be. Yeah, I'm guessing.
I honestly have no idea.
Okay. All right. I will talk to you next week. Thanks, Kimberly.
Thank you.
Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.